Good morning, students. Welcome to eSuvidya. Hope you all are fine and safe. Students, in the previous class, we have completed the chapter How Poor We Are. Today, we will discuss the last phase of activities such as mental talk and let's think. So, students, first in the mental talk of the session 8, we have written wealth is a wall between the rich and the poor. So, before starting this, a quote of the father of nation, Mahatma Gandhi, comes to my mind. He told, "There is enough for everyone's need, but not for everyone's greed." That means the earth can fulfill the need of every individual, but the earth cannot fulfill the greed of even a single individual, or the earth cannot fulfill the greed of individuals. So, students, we know that the whole world is divided into underdeveloped countries or developed countries, or presently we have developed a new concept of developing country, means those countries which are moving towards development. So, we see that there are people who are remaining in extreme poverty. Extreme poverty means those people who are unable to satisfy their basic requirements of life, like the food, clothing, shelter, and presently health, education, electricity is added to the basic necessities. So, according to the need of the individual, we can divide into necessity, comfort and luxury. So, the rich people are leading a luxurious life, whereas the poor people are struggling for their survival. I have already told you, according to the estimation of FAO, Food and Agricultural Organization, it is an international organization of the United Nations organization. Its headquarters is in Rome, Italy. According to the survey or estimation of the Food and Agricultural Organization, there are 842 million people who are suffering from chronic hunger. They do not have the sufficient food for survival. There is malnutrition of children. There is infant mortality. There is maternal mortality. So, all these things shows that there are millions of people who go to bed empty stomach whenever we are taking a delicious meal and whenever we are going to bed. But there are millions of people who do not have a roof over their head. They are spending the winter night or chilly winter night just under the open sky. So, this is the condition of the people. So, this wealth is created a wall between the rich people and the poor people. Students, you must have heard the name Karl Marx. Karl Marx is a great German philosopher. He is a sociologist, economist, and also many more. So, according to the Karl Marx has written a book. So, everybody must have listened about the name of that book, Das Kapital. He has written a famous book called Das Kapital. And you must have listened the famous quote of Karl Marx that the workers of the world unite. You have nothing to lose except your chains. Means those people who are the workers, they do not have to lose anything in their life. They have only chains in their feet. So, workers of the world, you unite. You do not have to lose everything, only your if you have to lose everything, only the chains of the bondage. So, the society in the present time is divided into different sections, where you see the poor people are struggling for their survival, where there are only few people, the wealth is concentrated in their hands. So, it has created a wall between the rich and the poor. Swami Vivekananda has told, I regard every educated man as a traitor educated at the cost of the masses but don't pay slightest interest for the welfare of the masses. I regard every educated man as a traitor. So every person who is educated at the cost of the masses, at the cost of the common people, but after being educated, they are not giving slightest interest for the welfare of the masses, they can be regarded as a traitor. So I regard every educated man as a traitor, educated at the cost of the masses, but don't pay slightest interest for the welfare of the masses. It indicates the gap has been widened between the rich and the poor. And this shows we have developed a wall between the rich and the poor. So we have to abolish this wall. And we have to give the minimum requirements of life to the common people who are struggling for their survival. Then let's go to the session 9. Let us think. Riches cannot make a man happy. Neither can wealth make a man really rich. So riches cannot make a man happy. Students, in the chapter you have studied that the father and the son have a different attitude towards life. You have seen the father has a different attitude towards life, whereas the son has a different attitude towards life. So can you tell whose attitude is better? His father's or son's? Definitely his son's attitude is better in comparison to his father's attitude. And you have seen riches cannot make a man happy. So whenever a person has so much wealth, we think wealth is the main cause of happiness. And wealth can fulfill all our needs. And wealth can fulfill all our needs, then we can become happy. But the wealth or the material property cannot give us a real happiness. One of the famous doha of Sant Kabir Das came into my mind. बुरा जो देखन में चला, बुरा जो देखन में चला, बुरा ना मिले कोई, बुरा जो देखन में चला, बुरा ना मिले कोई, जो मन खोजा अपना, मुझसा बुरा ना कोई. बुरा जो देखन में चला, बुरा ना मिले कोई, जो मन खोजा अपना, मुझसा बुरा ना कोई. That means I started looking for evilness with others. When I started looking for evil with others, then when I started looking for evil with others, I do not found any evil with others. But when I started looking inside myself, then I realized that I was the most evil one. It indicates that, students, it indicates that sometimes we search happiness outside in the material things. Sometimes we search happiness outside in the material things, but the real happiness lies within. The real happiness lies within our heart. If you are contented, then you are really happy. Then if you are not contented, then you cannot become happy. Students, you must have heard that story of Lord Ganesh and Kartik. When they were asked to move a tour around the world, Ganesh ji preferred to tour around his parents instead of moving around the world. And for him, the whole world is his parents. So in the same way, the whole happiness lies within our heart, not outside, and not in the material things that we are enjoying. And if a person has more wealth, he cannot be regarded as rich, because the real richness is the sacrifice of the individual. You are living so long as you are remembered by the people. So long as you are remembered by the people, you are living. If people are not remembering you, then you cannot be regarded as living. So for this reason, you must have heard about the sacrifice of Baji Raut or Dharmapad. At a very tender age, they sacrificed their life, and today we are remembering them. At a very young age, Bhagat Singh died, or Swami Vivekananda died, but still we are remembering them because they lived for others. And the real richness is that when we are living for others, and the real richness does not mean how much wealth we have accumulated, or how much wealth we have how much wealth we have accumulated in your lifetime. It is not important, but how we are spending for the welfare of the masses. So this is the main thing. So students, today we have completed this lesson. Thank you. Have a nice day. See you in the next class.